The clinking of champagne flutes and the murmur of polite conversation typically formed the soundtrack to Sterling Enterprises' annual gala. Tonight, however, the opulent grand ballroom of the Obsidian Tower, a gleaming testament to Serena Sterling's architectural prowess and financial might, felt less like a celebration and more like a gilded cage to Ethan Vance. He stood by a floor-to-ceiling window, the city lights a-dazzling, indifferent tapestry far below, a stark contrast to the hollow ache in his chest. Ethan, a gifted architect in his own right, should have felt a sense of pride. He'd poured countless late nights and forgotten weekends into the initial conceptual designs for this very tower, yet his name was a mere footnote in the glossy program, dwarfed by Serena's ubiquitous presence. His current role as a junior partner felt like a glorified assistantship, his ideas often refined by Serena's senior team until they bore little resemblance to his original vision, only to be presented as Sterling Enterprises' singular genius. He often wondered if he was merely a well-dressed prop, a testament to Serena's magnanimity in discovering raw talent. Tonight, that feeling was more acute than ever. Serena, a formidable presence in a midnight blue gown that seemed to absorb and reflect the light simultaneously, was holding court near the stage. Her laughter, sharp and confident, echoed across the polished marble. She was the undisputed queen of this domain, and Ethan, her fiancé, felt like a court jester perpetually on the verge of tripping. He tried to shake off the familiar cloak of inadequacy. He had talent. He had potential. But around Serena, his achievements felt like borrowed jewels, sparkling only in her reflected glory. Their engagement, once a source of quiet hope for him, had slowly transmuted into a gilded leash. His opinions were dismissed with a wave of her perfectly manicured hand, his suggestions met with condescending smiles from her inner circle. He'd become adept at predicting the microaggressions, the subtle slights that chipped away at his self-worth until he often questioned if he deserved anything more. "Ethan, darling, still admiring your reflection?" Serena's voice, silk wrapped around steel, cut through his thoughts. She had glided over, flanked by two senior VPs whose expressions flickered between feigned respect for Ethan and thinly veiled amusement. He managed a weak smile. "Just admiring the view, Serena. The city looks spectacular tonight." Serena's gaze swept over him, a quick assessment that felt less like affection and more like an inventory check. "Yes, it does. Now, come, there's someone I want you to meet. He's an investor who just closed on a major deal in Shibuya, precisely the kind of partnership Sterling needs." She didn't wait for his reply, already turning, her hand alight, commanding weight on his lower back, guiding him through the crowd. He was being presented, not as a partner, but as an accessory. As they navigated the labyrinth of high society chatter, Ethan's mind drifted. The firm had just landed a significant project, one he'd poured his soul into during the pitch, sketching late into the night. Yet, Serena had taken all the credit during the press conference, barely mentioning his involvement beyond a perfunctory nod. It was always like this. His designs were good, excellent even, but they were never his in the public eye. They were Sterling Enterprises designs, refined and executed under Serena's visionary leadership. His frustration simmered beneath his polite smiles. He wanted to speak up, to assert himself, but the words always seemed to catch in his throat, strangled by years of conditioning, of being told his ideas were too raw, too unconventional, or simply not what Sterling Enterprises stands for. Serena had a way of making him feel small, of subtly implying that any success he achieved was merely a byproduct of being associated with her and her powerful family name. He reached for a glass of water from a passing tray, his hand trembling slightly. He needed a moment to compose himself. His eyes scanned the room, landing on a small, curated display near the entrance. It was a collection of Sterling family heirlooms, a tasteful nod to their long-standing legacy in architecture and development. Among them, nestled on a velvet stand, was a simple ceramic mug. It was an odd inclusion amidst antique compasses and gilded blueprints, yet it seemed to draw his eye. The mug was unassuming, a deep indigo glaze with a faint, almost imperceptible chip near the rim. He remembered Serena mentioning it once, a fleeting comment about it being a gift from an old friend, a souvenir from a particularly inspiring period in her life. He'd never asked for details, sensing a story there he wasn't meant to hear. Now, standing so close, he felt a strange pull towards it, a curiosity he couldn't quite explain. As Serena continued her animated conversation with the investor a few feet away, her back momentarily turned, Ethan found himself reaching out. Perhaps he could subtly shift it, ensure it was secure. In his nervousness, his fingers brushed against the delicate ceramic, and with a sickening lurch, the mug tipped. Time seemed to slow. He fumbled, grabbing at empty air as the mug tumbled from its stand. A silent scream caught in his throat. It hit the polished marble floor with a sharp, sickening crack, shattering into several jagged pieces. The conversation around them died. A sudden, chilling silence descended upon the ballroom, punctuated only by the distant strains of a string quartet. All eyes, it felt, were on him. Serena turned, her laugh dying on her lips, replaced by a look of incredulity, then horror. Her gaze dropped to the shattered ceramic at his feet, then back up to his ashen face. "Ethan," she hissed, her voice dangerously low, stripped of its usual polished charm. "What have you done?" He opened his mouth to apologize, to explain, but no words came out. His heart hammered against his ribs. The shattered mug, the sudden silence, the weight of 100 scrutinizing eyes. It was all too much. Serena took a slow, deliberate step towards him, her eyes blazing with an icy fury he had rarely seen directed at him with such intensity. "That mug," she began, her voice quivering with controlled rage, "that was a gift from Liam. From my ex-fiancé, Liam Hayes. It was the only thing I had left from him." The name Liam Hayes hung in the air like a poisonous dart. Ethan knew the name. Liam Hayes was a ghost, a legend whispered about in Serena's inner circle, the one who got away, the one she supposedly still held a torch for. And now, Ethan had destroyed the last tangible piece of that ghost. His mind reeled. He hadn't known. He truly hadn't. He just reached. An accident. But Serena wasn't hearing explanations. Her face contorted, a mask of aristocratic disdain melting into pure, unadulterated fury. The VPs flanking her shifted uncomfortably, avoiding eye contact. The investor, moments ago so jovial, now wore a look of bewildered shock. Then it happened. Swift, brutal, and entirely public. Serena's hand arced through the air, a blur of white silk and perfectly manicured nails. The slap landed squarely across Ethan's left cheek, a stinging, resounding smack that echoed through the stunned silence of the ballroom. His head snapped to the side, a crimson welt blooming instantly across his pale skin. The impact sent a sharp jolt of pain through his jaw, but the searing humiliation was far worse. The entire room seemed to hold its breath. Waiters froze, their trays suspended. Guests whispered, their eyes darting between Serena's furious face and Ethan's burning cheek. He could feel the blood rushing to his ears, his vision blurring slightly. He tasted metallic regret, but also a strange, sharp clarity. This wasn't just about a mug. This was about everything. About every dismissed idea, every condescending glance, every moment he'd been made to feel secondary, disposable. This was about being slapped, publicly, for a former flame's forgotten memento, by the woman he was supposed to marry. The physical pain was transient, but the emotional wound felt permanent, raw, exposed for all to see. He stood there, frozen, his cheek throbbing, the shattered pieces of ceramic at his feet a stark metaphor for his own broken dignity. But amidst the crushing shame, something unexpected stirred within Ethan. A fragile, dormant spark, long suppressed by years of deference and quiet resignation, flickered to life. It was a flicker of defiance, a quiet roar against the humiliation. He looked at Serena, her chest heaving, her eyes still blazing with a rage that bordered on theatrical, and saw not the powerful CEO he was engaged to, but a cruel, unfeeling stranger. The thought, clear and unwavering, cut through the fog of pain, no more. He didn't know what it would take, what he would lose, or how he would rebuild. But as he stood there, his cheek burning, the shattered remains of a relic of Serena's past littering the pristine marble, Ethan Vance knew one thing with absolute certainty. His life, as he knew it, was irrevocably over. And he was finally, terrifyingly, ready to begin anew. The thought, radical and liberating, hummed beneath the agony. This public humiliation, instead of breaking him completely, had forged a new resolve. Serena had just slapped away her own future, and in doing so, had unwittingly handed Ethan the key to his. He just had to be brave enough to use it. The taxi's luxury leather seats felt like a rough burlap sack against Ethan's skin. The city lights, usually a vibrant symphony, now blurred into a searing kaleidoscope of judgment. His cheek still burned, a phantom imprint of Serena's palm. But it wasn't just the physical sting, it was the corrosive acid of public humiliation, the final drop in an overflowing goblet of disrespect. He'd spent years justifying her barbed remarks, her patronizing glances, her dismissive hand gestures. He'd attributed it to her demanding nature, her CEO persona. He'd even convinced himself that her constant critiques were a form of tough love, meant to hone him into the man she deserved. But being slapped in front of their industry peers for a mug belonging to an ex-flame she still clearly held a torch for? That wasn't tough love. That was cruelty. That was an unequivocal statement that he was less than nothing to her, a replaceable accessory, an object to be discarded or punished on a whim. The self-deception that had been his shield shattered, revealing the raw, festering wound of his own insecurity. A cold, hard resolve solidified in his gut. The familiar knot of anxiety that usually twisted in his stomach when contemplating Serena's displeasure was gone, replaced by a strange, exhilarating lightness. He wasn't going back to Sterling Tower to apologize. He was going back to sever the cord. He dismissed the cab block from Serena's penthouse, needing the walk to steel his nerves. The skyscraper, a monolithic testament to Sterling Enterprises' power and Serena's ruthlessness, loomed over him, its top floors, where they shared an apartment, glittering like mocking diamonds. He took a deep breath, the crisp night air biting, and pushed through the gilded lobby doors. Serena was exactly where he expected her to be, in the minimalist living room, nursing a glass of artisanal whiskey, her posture impeccable even in her silk robe. Her eyes, cool and assessing, flickered up from the city sprawl outside the floor-to-ceiling windows. There was no apology in them, only a hint of impatience. "Ethan, you're back," she stated, her voice smooth, devoid of warmth. "I trust you've had time to compose yourself. Perhaps reflecting on your clumsiness will remind you of the importance of attention to detail." That mug held sentimental value, as I explained. She didn't look at him directly, instead swirling the amber liquid in her glass, her perfectly manicured nails catching the ambient light. The casual dismissal, the immediate placement of blame, the complete lack of concern for his humiliation, it was a familiar script, but tonight, Ethan refused to play his part. He felt a surge of adrenaline, not of fear, but of a quiet, burning defiance. "Compose myself?" Ethan's voice was steady, surprisingly calm, a stark contrast to the earthquake rumbling beneath his composure. Serena finally turned, her eyebrow arching in a silent query. "Yes, Serena. I have. And what I've realized is that I'm done composing myself for you." He walked further into the vast room, his shadow stretching long across the polished marble. "I'm done making excuses for your behavior. I'm done being a target for your frustration, your pride, your nostalgic affections for a man who isn't me." He gestured vaguely towards the spot where the mug had met its demise. A flicker of surprise, then irritation, crossed Serena's flawless face. "Ethan, don't be dramatic. It was an accident. And I was merely correcting you. Publicly, yes, but sometimes that's necessary to make a point." She put down her glass with a decisive click, her gaze sharpening. "Don't tell me you're still upset about a slap?" It was a moment of frustration. "You embarrassed me." "I embarrassed you?" Ethan laughed, a short, bitter sound devoid of humor. "Serena, you slapped me. In front of the entire board, in front of our biggest clients, in front of my colleagues who have to witness your treatment of me every single day. You slapped me because I accidentally broke a mug belonging to your ex-boyfriend. Do you have any idea how that feels? To be treated like a disobedient child, a pet that needs to be disciplined." Her eyes narrowed. Don't exaggerate. You're being overly sensitive. You know how important my image is, Ethan. And a clumsy fiancé reflects poorly on me. On us. She began to walk towards him, her tone shifting, attempting to regain control with a practiced blend of condescension and seduction. Come now. Let's not let a minor incident derail everything we've built. We have a life together, a future, a beautiful wedding to plan. You'll make an excellent partner for Sterling Enterprises. Think of your career, Ethan. Think of what I've given you. She reached out as if to smooth his jacket. Ethan recoiled before her hand could touch him. What you've given me? You've given me a gilded cage, Serena. You've given me a title that always comes with an asterisk, reminding everyone I'm Serena Sterling's fiancé, not Ethan Vance, architect. You've given me a life where my worth is measured by how much I reflect your glory, how obediently I stay in your shadow. He took a step back, then another. This isn't a minor incident. This is the culmination. I'm not just upset about a slap, Serena. I'm disgusted by years of emotional abuse, by the constant undermining, by the fact that you have never once truly respected me, my talent, or my contributions. His voice, though still calm, resonated with a new authority she'd never heard from him. So, what then? Serena's voice was dangerously low, her face tightening. You're going to throw away everything? Your position at Sterling, your future, all because of some bruised ego. Yes, Ethan said, the single word ringing with absolute finality. I'm throwing it all away. Because I want a future where I'm not a footnote in your story, where I'm valued for me. Our engagement is over, Serena. I'm leaving. And I'm resigning from Sterling Enterprises, effective immediately. The words hung in the air, heavy and irrevocable. Serena froze, her perfect composure finally fracturing. Her mouth opened, then closed. Disbelief, then a flash of genuine shock, registered in her eyes. You can't be serious. You're being utterly irrational. You need Sterling. You need me. No, Serena, Ethan said, a profound sense of liberation washing over him. I don't. And I won't. He turned and walked towards the master bedroom, leaving her standing amidst her silent, opulent kingdom. He packed a single duffel bag with a few essentials, ignoring her furious, sputtering exclamations from the living room, threats of professional ruin, promises of dire regret. He just kept moving. He didn't look back as he left the penthouse for the last time. The heavy door clicked shut behind him, severing the last thread of his suffocating past. Stepping out into the cool night air again, Ethan felt a dizzying emptiness, yet an intoxicating sense of freedom. He was untethered, unburdened, but also utterly alone. He had nowhere to go, no immediate plan. The world outside Serena's orbit felt vast and intimidating. His hand instinctively went to his phone. He scrolled through his contacts, past names of colleagues he knew wouldn't understand, past fair-weather friends who would side with Serena. His thumb hovered over a name that always brought a quiet smile to his face, Dr. Anya Sharma. Anya. Brilliant, kind, with eyes that saw beyond the surface. She was a biochemist he'd collaborated with on a few interdepartmental projects, her insights always inspiring, her demeanor genuinely empathetic. He'd always harbored a secret crush, admiring her quiet strength and intellectual prowess, but had never dared to act on it, feeling unworthy and bound by his engagement to Serena. He hesitated, then took a deep breath. What did he have to lose? He typed out a message, then deleted it. Too much. Too little. He finally settled on something simple. Anya? It's Ethan. I know it's late, but do you have a moment? I've done something drastic, and I could really use a friendly ear. His heart hammered as he waited. Just as he was about to give up hope, his phone buzzed. Ethan? Of course. Is everything all right? You sound concerned. Call me. A pause, then another message. Or, if you'd prefer, I'm still up working in my lab. Come by if you need to talk in person. The address is lab address. Anya. Always pragmatic, always thoughtful. The offer to meet in person, at her lab, a neutral, professional yet personal space, resonated deeply. It was an invitation without pressure, a beacon of genuine human connection. He hailed another cab, giving the driver Anya's lab address. The journey was a blur, his mind replaying the confrontation, the dizzying certainty of his decision. The lab, nestled in a quieter district dedicated to research and development, was brightly lit, a stark contrast to the dark, silent streets. He found Anya waiting at the entrance, a warm, reassuring smile on her face. Her natural curls were pulled back in a loose ponytail, a lab coat draped over her smart casual clothes. "Ethan," she greeted, her voice soft, full of immediate concern as her eyes scanned his face. "Are you all right? You look shaken." She noticed the lingering redness on his cheek, her brow furrowing slightly. I'm fine. Relatively." He managed a weak smile. "Thanks for letting me come. I didn't know who else to turn to." She led him into a small, pristine break room, offering him a mug of chamomile tea. Not just any mug, he noticed, but a simple, sturdy ceramic one, utterly unpretentious. It felt like a deliberate, comforting antidote to the drama he'd just escaped. "Talk to me, Ethan," she prompted, her gaze unwavering, patient. "Whatever it is, you can tell me." He took a fortifying sip of the tea, its warmth spreading through him. Then, the words tumbled out, the public humiliation, the broken mug, Serena's coldness, his explosive confrontation, and the irreversible decision to end everything. He spoke with a raw honesty he hadn't realized he possessed, pouring out years of bottled-up frustration and self-doubt. Anya listened intently, her expression shifting from shock to profound sadness, then to a quiet understanding. She didn't interrupt, didn't judge, simply absorbed his story, her empathy a palpable presence. When he finally finished, his voice hoarse, a heavy silence settled between them. He braced himself for advice, for pity, for the inevitable question of what he would do next. Instead, Anya reached across the table and gently, fleetingly, squeezed his hand. Her touch was soft, comforting, devoid of any agenda. "Ethan," she said, her voice barely above a whisper, "I'm so incredibly sorry you went through that. No one deserves to be treated that way. Especially not you." Her eyes, warm and sincere, met his. "You are one of the most talented, insightful architects I've ever had the pleasure of working with. You have a vision, a depth of understanding that goes far beyond blueprints and materials. Your contributions at Sterling were always understated, but they were real. I've seen it. Everyone who truly looked saw it." His throat tightened. Her words, so simple, so genuine, were like a balm on his wounded soul. No one, not even his own family, had ever spoken to his professional worth with such unwavering conviction. "You are so much more than just Serena Sterling's fiancée," Anya continued, her grip on his hand tightening infinitesimally. "You made the right decision, Ethan. A difficult one, yes, but absolutely the right one. It takes immense courage to walk away from everything you've known, everything you thought defined you. But true courage is knowing your own worth, even when someone else tries to erase it." His gaze met hers, and in her kind, knowing eyes, he saw not pity, but belief. He saw someone who truly saw him, the architect, the man, separate from Serena's shadow. A profound sense of relief, accompanied by a burgeoning hope, began to unfurl within him. The loneliness he'd felt evaporated, replaced by a nascent feeling of genuine connection. "Thank you, Anya," he said, his voice thick with emotion. "Thank you for listening. Thank you for seeing me." She smiled, a small, radiant curve of her lips that reached her eyes. "Always, Ethan. Always." She released his hand, but the warmth of her touch lingered. "So, what's next for the great Ethan Vance, independent architect?" she asked, her tone light, but with an underlying current of serious interest. "A new chapter, perhaps?" Ethan looked at her, truly looked at her. Her belief in him was a tangible thing, a lifeline in the tumultuous waters he'd just entered. For the first time in years, he didn't feel lost. He felt invigorated. Ready. "A new chapter," he echoed, a genuine, unburdened smile finally gracing his lips. "And I have a feeling it's going to be the most important one yet." He realized then that as terrifying as the unknown was, having Anya's unwavering support, her quiet strength and genuine admiration, made it feel not like an ending, but a glorious, terrifying, exhilarating beginning. The journey ahead was uncertain, fraught with challenges he couldn't yet imagine, but for the first time, he felt he wouldn't face it alone. He felt a spark of something new, something deeper than friendship, igniting between them, promising a future far brighter than anything Serena's gilded cage could have offered. The air shimmered with a warmth Vance hadn't known existed. Not the icy, polished sheen of Serena's Sterling manner, nor the stifling heat of a public spotlight, but a gentle, pervasive warmth that settled deep in his bones. Today, there were no flashing cameras, no judgmental eyes from society's elite, only the soft glow of fairy lights woven through an arbor of white roses and eucalyptus, framing the verdant backdrop of Dr. Anya Sharma's family garden. Their wedding was everything Serena's would never have been: intimate, authentic, brimming with unpretentious joy. Anya, breathtaking in a simple, elegantly tailored cream gown, walked towards him, a vision of grace and quiet strength. Her smile, serene and genuine, was a balm to the scars Serena had left on his soul. As she reached him, her hand slipped into his, a touch that felt like coming home. "You look magnificent," Anya whispered, her eyes, the color of warm honey, mirroring the profound love he felt. Ethan's throat tightened. "And you, my love, are the most beautiful woman in the world." Their vows were brief, heartfelt promises exchanged under a sky streaked with the dying embers of a glorious sunset. Anya spoke of unwavering support, of building a life founded on mutual respect and shared dreams. Ethan, his voice thick with emotion, promised to cherish her, to honor her brilliance, and to always strive to be the man she saw in him, the man he was only just beginning to believe he could be. There were no grand pronouncements of empires or legacies, only the simple, powerful commitment of two souls choosing each other, completely and without reservation. Afterward, amidst the gentle murmur of close friends and family, the clinking of glasses, and the soft strains of a jazz quartet, Ethan found a peace he hadn't thought possible. He watched Anya laugh, her head thrown back, a picture of uninhibited happiness and a quiet strength settled in his heart. This wasn't just love, it was sanctuary. Anya was his anchor, his confidant, his biggest champion. In the quiet moments after their wedding, curled up together in their new, modest apartment, a far cry from the opulent cage Serena had offered, she would listen intently as he spoke of his architectural ambitions. She saw past the industry's perception of him as Serena Sterling's accessory, directly to the heart of his talent. "Ethan," she'd said one evening, tracing the lines of a sketch he'd idly drawn, "a revolutionary concept for sustainable urban housing. This is brilliant. This is you. Don't let anyone dim that light, especially not yourself." Her belief was a constant, gentle current lifting him. Encouraged by Anya, Ethan started small. He established a modest home office, a space filled with sunlight and the scent of freshly brewed coffee, a stark contrast to the sterile opulence of Sterling Enterprises. He began reaching out to old contacts, connections he'd cultivated independently, distinct from Serena's vast network. He wasn't seeking grand projects, just opportunities to prove his worth, to build a portfolio that was undeniably his. One such connection led him to Mr. Alastair Chin. The venerable architect, a legend in the industry, had retired years ago but remained a respected figurehead. Ethan had always admired Mr. Chen's work, a blend of timeless elegance and innovative functionality, much like his own burgeoning style. A chance meeting at a small industry event, not one of Serena's lavish galas, allowed Ethan to finally present some of his independent designs. Mr. Chen, a man of few words but sharp, discerning eyes, had studied Ethan's conceptual drawings in silence for several long minutes, a thoughtful frown etched on his face. "Vance," he'd finally rumbled, his gaze piercing, "you have a unique vision. Most architects chase trends. You see the bones of what a structure should be, how it should serve its environment and its inhabitants. Sterling Enterprises was always too small for you, too rigid." The validation was like a fresh breath of mountain air. Mr. Chin didn't offer him a job, but he offered something far more valuable, a referral to a boutique development firm looking for fresh talent on a new eco-friendly resort project. It wasn't a multi-million-dollar corporate tower, but a chance to design something beautiful, something with purpose, something his. Ethan poured himself into the resort project. The initial designs were intricate, sustainable, and breathed a sense of tranquility into the proposed structures, integrating seamlessly with the natural landscape. He worked long hours, fueled by Anya's quiet support and the sheer exhilaration of creating without the looming shadow of Serena's demands or corporate politics. Anya, despite her demanding schedule as a biochemist, would often bring him tea, offer a fresh perspective, or simply sit beside him in comfortable silence, her presence a steadying force. The initial feedback was overwhelmingly positive. The boutique firm, impressed by his innovative approach and meticulous attention to detail, quickly awarded him the full design contract. It was a tangible victory, a project bearing his name, his vision, his unadulterated talent. News, however, had a way of traversing the metropolis, even into the hallowed, insulated halls of Sterling Enterprises. Serena Sterling sat in her impeccably minimalist office, overlooking the cityscape she commanded, a stack of reports on her mahogany desk. Her assistant, a perpetually flustered young woman named Chloe, had just concluded her morning briefing. And finally, Miss Sterling, Chloe stammered, consulting her tablet, a rather unexpected item. Ethan Vance. He apparently married Dr. Anya Sharma last month. A small, private affair. Serena's hand, poised to sign a document, froze midair. Her meticulously manicured brows furrowed, not in anger, but in a flicker of something akin to bewilderment. Ethan married, she repeated, the name tasting foreign on her tongue, detached from its usual context as her property. To her. Chloe nodded, shrinking slightly under Serena's intense gaze. Yes, Miss Sterling. And he's apparently just secured the full design contract for the new Viridian Oasis eco-resort project with Solstice Developments. Their initial designs have been making quite a buzz in eco-architectural circles. Serena leaned back, her chair swiveling slightly. Viridian Oasis. Solstice Developments. She knew the names. Solstice was a respectable, albeit smaller, player known for their niche in high-end, sustainable projects. And Ethan Vance was designing it? Her Ethan? The man who she had dismissed as a glorified assistant, whose talent she had always framed as an extension of her vision. A cynical smile touched her lips. Please, Chloe. Ethan Vance designing a high-profile resort? He's probably just assisting some obscure firm. He's always been good at picking up scraps. She dismissed it with a wave of her hand, the expensive silk of her blouse rustling. He'll be back. He always came back. But the seeds of unease were sown. A few weeks later, Serena found herself at a high-end charity gala, surrounded by the usual sycophants and power players. She was, as always, the radiant center of attention, but an overheard snippet of conversation pierced through the dull din of polite chatter. Heard Vance's designs for Viridian Oasis are truly exceptional. A real fresh perspective. Solstice is lucky to have him. Indeed. Quite a coup for them. He's clearly come into his own since, well, you know. The speaker nodded discreetly in Serena's direction, then quickly averted their eyes, embarrassed. Serena felt a prickle of irritation. Her eyes scanned the room, searching for the source of this infuriating chatter. She saw Mrs. Davies, a notoriously gossipy socialite, engaged in conversation with Mr. Harrison, a rival real estate developer. They weren't talking about her, they were talking around her, discussing Ethan as if he were a separate, noteworthy entity, completely independent of the Sterling brand. And then she saw it. A digital projection on a large screen, cycling through various philanthropic endeavors. One image flashed, an artist's rendering of the Viridian Oasis Resort, sleek, elegant structures harmonizing with lush greenery, innovative water features, and an undeniable sense of modern luxury infused with natural tranquility. It was breathtaking. It was different. And it was undeniably Ethan's style, unburdened by the conservative constraints she had imposed on his designs. A knot tightened in Serena's stomach. It wasn't anger, not yet. It was a cold, unfamiliar sensation. A flicker of doubt. The design was truly remarkable. It had a quiet power and understated brilliance that she recognized, now unmarred by her name. He was thriving. Without her. Later that evening, as Serena was driven home in her chauffeured Bentley, the city lights a blur outside her window. The image of the Viridian oasis haunted her. She thought of Ethan's quiet determination, the subtle strength she'd always dismissed as timidity. She had seen him as a malleable asset, a talented but ultimately dependent fixture in her life. Now he was a free agent, a rising star, and he was doing it with a woman who genuinely cherished him. The realization hit her like a sudden chill. She hadn't just lost a fiancé, she had dismissed, humiliated, and ultimately driven away a genuinely gifted architect whose star was now ascendant. And for what? A mug. A ghost from her past. The arrogance she had worn like a crown now felt like a lead weight. For the first time, a genuine pang of regret, sharp and undeniable, pierced through her carefully constructed indifference. The vision of him, smiling with that quiet, fulfilled joy she'd never seen him possess in her presence, twisted in her gut. He wasn't just surviving, he was soaring. And the thought ignited a spark of something possessive and deeply unsettling within her. The sleek, obsidian glass facade of Vance Sharma Innovations gleamed under the afternoon sun, a testament to its meteoric rise. It had been nearly 2 years since Ethan and Anya had taken that leap of faith, pooling their unique talents and limited resources to build something truly their own. The company, initially a bold experiment, was now a recognized force in sustainable urban development, pioneering designs that seamlessly integrated cutting-edge biochemical solutions for energy efficiency and environmental impact reduction. Their flagship project, the Viridian Tower, a revolutionary residential and commercial complex in the heart of the city, was nearing completion. Ethan, with his innate understanding of spatial dynamics and aesthetic grace, had designed a structure that seemed to breathe, its living walls and integrated hydroponic systems a marvel. Anya, in turn, had engineered the bioconverters and self-sustaining energy cycles that made the ambitious vision a reality. Their synergy was undeniable, a dance of two brilliant minds perfectly attuned. One crisp autumn morning, Ethan stood on the observation deck of the Viridian Tower, Anya beside him. Below, the bustling city unfurled like a vibrant tapestry, miniature cars crawling along arteries of concrete and steel. The air, surprisingly fresh at this height, carried the distant hum of urban life. "It's magnificent," Ethan, Anya murmured, her hand slipping into his. Her eyes, warm with pride, met his. "Our vision. Our hard work." Ethan squeezed her hand, a genuine, unburdened smile gracing his lips. "And our shared dreams, Anya. None of this would be possible without you." He truly meant it. With Anya, he wasn't just an architect. He was a partner, an equal, a man whose ideas were cherished and amplified, not diminished. Their success wasn't just professional, it was profoundly personal. Their small, elegant loft apartment, filled with the scent of Anya's experimental flora and Ethan's architectural sketches, was a sanctuary of peace and shared ambition. Their evenings were spent discussing blueprints and biochemical compounds with equal passion, punctuated by laughter and comfortable silences that spoke volumes of their deep connection. Meanwhile, in her gilded cage at Sterling Enterprises, Serena Sterling watched their ascent with a mixture of disbelief and growing fury. The initial reports of Vance Sharma had been scoffed at in her boardrooms, a boutique firm, a pet project, destined to fizzle. But the Viridian Tower, lauded in industry magazines and generating unprecedented buzz, was impossible to ignore. Ethan, no longer the timid shadow, stood tall in professional photographs, his eyes alight with a confidence she had never seen during their engagement. And always by his side, elegant and poised, was Anya, her presence a quiet but powerful counterpoint to Serena's own abrasive dominance. The first attempt at reconciliation came discreetly, an email invitation delivered by a mutual acquaintance, vaguely worded as a networking opportunity at a high-profile charity gala. Ethan received it and merely archived it. "Serena's trying to get her claws back into something she discarded," he told Anya over breakfast, sipping his herbal tea. She probably thinks I'm a good luck charm now that I'm successful without her. Anya simply nodded, her expression serene as she stirred her own tea. Your success is your own, Ethan. And she knows it deep down. That's what truly bothers her. Serena's patience, however, was as thin as her pretense of cordiality. When the subtle approach failed, she escalated. A few weeks later, a massive bouquet of exotic lilies, Ethan's favorite, a detail he'd once shared with her, arrived at the Vance Sharma office. The accompanying card was handwritten, her elegant script a stark contrast to the saccharine message. Ethan, I've been thinking about old times. We had something special. Let's talk. S. Ethan looked at the lilies, then at Anya, who had raised an eyebrow, a hint of amusement playing on her lips. Old times, he scoffed, the word tasting bitter. Old times of me being her public punching bag and her private doormat? He picked up the card, walked over to the shredder in the corner of their office, and watched the expensive paper turn into confetti with a satisfying whir. Our relationship is a closed book, Anya. And it has a much happier ending now, thanks to you. Serena's next move was a direct call, cutting through his assistant's filter with the sheer force of her personality. Her voice, once commanding and aloof, now had a subtly desperate edge beneath its polished veneer. Ethan, darling, she purred, the endearment like a rusty key in an unused lock. I heard about the Viridian Tower. It's truly ambitious. You know, I always saw your potential. We could have built an empire together, a real legacy, one that would have overshadowed Sterling Enterprises itself. Ethan leaned back in his office chair, a weary sigh escaping him. The grand pronouncements, the manipulative flattery, it was all so transparent now. Serena, there is no we. And you didn't see my potential. You saw an extension of Sterling Enterprises, a convenient accessory. My legacy is being built right now with Anya, and it's mine, not yours. It stands on merit, not borrowed power. Don't be foolish, she snapped, the purr dissolving into her familiar imperiousness. You're playing with small stakes. Sterling Enterprises is a titan. We could acquire Vance Sharma. Give you the resources you deserve to truly make your mark. I have the resources I deserve, Serena, he countered, his voice steady, devoid of any past fear. And I have a partner who values me and elevates my work, not a boss who claims my achievements as her own. Don't call this office again. Our professional paths are entirely separate. Our personal ones, even more so. He hung up, feeling a familiar tightness in his chest, a ghost of past anxieties, finally loosen into firm resolve. He was no longer afraid of her, nor swayed by her empty promises of power. Rejection fueled Serena's malice. The sting of Ethan's resolute independence twisted her growing regret into vengeful anger. If she couldn't have him or his talent, she would ensure no one else could thrive either. The corporate sabotage began subtly, insidious whispers circulating through the industry. Competitors received anonymous tips about structural vulnerabilities in the Viridian Tower or untested biochemical components in Vance Sharma's proprietary systems, planted by well-paid, anonymous sources. Then came the more direct attacks. A crucial supplier who had provided specialty glass for the Viridian Tower and was a long-term partner suddenly reneged on their next contract, citing unforeseen logistical issues that smelled suspiciously like Serena's high-level influence. A promising junior architect, whom Ethan and Anya were keen to hire, abruptly pulled out of negotiations, only to resurface a week later on Sterling Enterprises' payroll, offered an irresistible, almost absurdly generous package. She's trying to bleed us dry, Anya stated, her brow furrowed as she reviewed legal documents concerning a baseless patent infringement claim Serena had initiated against one of Vance Sharma's unique biological filtration systems. These claims are ridiculous, designed purely to drain our time and financial resources, not win in court. Ethan paced their shared office, his jaw tight. She's banking on us being the small-stakes firm she mentioned. She thinks we'll buckle under the pressure, that will come crawling back to her empire for protection. He stopped, turning to face Anya, his gaze unwavering, resolute. But she underestimates us. She underestimates me. She always has. Anya walked over to him, placing a comforting hand on his arm, her touch grounding. We're in this together. And we have allies. Their mentor, Mr. Alistair Chin, proved to be invaluable. He saw through Serena's transparent tactics instantly. Typical Sterling play, he grumbled over a secure video call from his remote Tuscan villa, his shrewd eyes sparkling with decades of experience. She can't outdesign you, Ethan, so she'll try to outmuscle you. But corporate muscle doesn't win on merit, it wins on fear. And you, my boy, are no longer afraid. With Alistair's guidance and connections, they swiftly countered Serena's moves. Alistair's reputation in the architectural world was legendary, and a quiet word from him to the specialty glass supplier was enough to have their contract reinstated, along with a stern warning about corporate intimidation. The baseless patent claims were expertly dismantled by Vance Sharma's legal team, exposing the flimsy evidence and Serena's desperation in a series of highly embarrassing public filings. They even used the junior architect's abrupt departure as an opportunity, hiring a more experienced, highly recommended designer who brought fresh perspectives and a loyal following to their growing team. The final, decisive confrontation came during a prestigious industry gala, an event Sterling Enterprises had traditionally dominated, almost owned. Ethan and Anya, radiating confidence and success, were the undeniable stars of the evening, their Viridian Tower project having just won the coveted Sustainable Design of the Year award, announced to a standing ovation. As Ethan accepted the trophy, his speech was articulate, heartfelt, and entirely without reference to his past. He spoke of innovation, collaboration, and a future built on true partnership. Serena, seething from a distant table, watched the applause, the flashbulbs, and the genuine admiration in the eyes of her peers, eyes that, she noticed, were now turning towards her with a hint of pity and, worse, judgment. She couldn't bear it. The limelight that had always been hers was now stolen, not just by Ethan, but by the woman at his side. Later, as Ethan and Anya mingled, Serena approached them, her face a mask of practice charm that didn't quite reach her eyes. Her perfectly manicured hand extended. "Ethan," she began, a forced sweetness in her tone, "congratulations on the award. It's impressive." She then turned her attention to Anya, her smile tightening, assessing. "And you must be Dr. Sharma. I hear your biochemical contributions are foundational. Quite the team you've assembled." There was a subtle condescension in her tone, a barely veiled attempt to diminish Anya's distinct role, to reframe her as merely a helpful appendage to Ethan. Ethan stepped slightly in front of Anya, his gaze cool and unwavering, a protective barrier. "Thank you, Serena. It is impressive. And yes, Dr. Sharma's contributions are indeed foundational. Vance Sharma Innovations is a partnership in every sense of the word, built on mutual respect and shared vision." Serena's eyes flickered to Anya, then back to Ethan, a desperate glint emerging through her waning composure. "Ethan, we need to talk. Privately. About Sterling Enterprises, and about us. There are still ways we could make this work, for both our sakes. Think of the synergy." Her voice dropped, laced with a plea that would have once shattered Ethan's fragile resolve, a siren song to his past insecurities. But Ethan only offered a small, polite smile, utterly unmoved. "There is no us, Serena. Not anymore. And there is nothing left to discuss concerning Sterling Enterprises. Our path is clear, and it doesn't involve you. It hasn't for a very long time." He took Anya's hand, lacing his fingers through hers, a silent, powerful declaration of his commitment and his newfound, unshakable happiness. "Now, if you'll excuse us, we have partners to celebrate with and a future to build." He turned, gently guiding Anya away, leaving Serena standing utterly alone amidst the vibrant chatter of the gala, the hum of congratulations for Ethan ringing in her ears, a tormenting symphony of her own failure. Her practiced smile finally faltered, her face draining of color, revealing the raw fury and dawning horror beneath. She watched them walk away, a truly happy couple, surrounded by admirers, their future brighter than any star in the city sky. The colossal weight of her past actions, the true cost of her hubris, began to settle upon her like a suffocating shroud. She had been so consumed by power and control, She hadn't realized she was discarding the most valuable thing she had, a man who could have been her greatest strength, now her formidable, independent rival. The cracks in Serena Sterling's meticulously crafted empire were beginning to show, and she suddenly felt a chill that had nothing to do with the air conditioning. She looked around, feeling exposed, realizing for the first time that her public image was not as flawless as she believed. The whispers, she now heard them, were no longer about Ethan's luck, but about her short-sightedness and cruelty. The following morning, a major financial newspaper carried a scathing exposé detailing Sterling Enterprises' recent string of missed deadlines, budget overruns, and a significant dip in investor confidence, all hinting at a leadership crisis. The article subtly contrasted Sterling's floundering projects with the meteoric success of Vance Sharma Innovations, painting Ethan as the architect of their downfall by virtue of his departure. Serena read it, her hands trembling, and knew, with a sickening lurch, that this was only the beginning. The empire she had built on fear and ego was starting to crumble, brick by painful brick, and she had only herself to blame. The final, devastating blow, she realized, was yet to come. The soft hum of the private jet was a familiar lullaby now, a stark contrast to the clatter of the busy metropolis below. Ethan Vance leaned back, a contented smile playing on his lips as he watched the lights of Tokyo twinkle into existence. Beside him, Anya, her face illuminated by the glow of her tablet, finished reviewing the final specs for their firm's latest project, the Harmony Tower. An ambitious vertical city designed to integrate sustainable living with cutting-edge biotech applications, funded by a global consortium eager for their innovative vision. They loved it, didn't they? Anya murmured, not looking up but sensing his gaze. They did, Ethan confirmed, his voice laced with the quiet triumph of hard-won battles. Chin said it's our magnum opus, a true testament to our belief in architecture as a living, breathing ecosystem. Anya finally looked at him, her eyes shining with warmth and pride. It's your magnum opus, Ethan. My biotech integrations are just the heart you gave a soul. She reached across, taking his hand, her touch grounding him. You've truly built an empire, Vance. One based on ingenuity and integrity, not inherited wealth or intimidation. Ethan squeezed her hand. We built it, Anya. Every design, every negotiation, every late night, it's been us, together. He thought back to the early days, the initial struggles, the whispers of doubt from Sterling loyalists, and the sheer joy of seeing their shared vision take shape. Their company, Vance Sharma Innovations, had not just flourished, it had revolutionized the industry, becoming a global benchmark for sustainable, intelligent design, with Anya's integrated bioscience making their structures truly unique. Their success wasn't just about buildings, it was about creating environments that enhanced life. At the very same moment, across continents in the polished, sterile confines of the Sterling Enterprises boardroom, a different kind of silence reigned, one heavy with dread. Serena Sterling stared at the holographic projection of their latest quarterly report, her jaw clenched so tightly her temples throbbed. The numbers were catastrophic. Another 15% drop in stock value, 3 major investors pulling out, and worst of all, the prestigious Skyline Gardens project, a project Serena had been personally overseeing and banking on to turn the tide, had been awarded to Vance Sharma Innovations. How? She hissed, her voice a low growl, breaking the silence. Her remaining board members, a shell-shocked collection of old guard and terrified new hires, shifted uncomfortably. How could we lose it? Our bid was competitive, our reputation, invincible. One nervous junior VP cleared his throat. Madam Sterling, with all due respect, Vance Sharma's proposal included the revolutionary Auraflow ventilation system and their proprietary biofiltration arrays. The City Council was particularly impressed by their zero-carbon footprint projections and public wellness initiatives. Serena slammed her fist on the polished table, the sound echoing in the cavernous room. Public wellness initiatives? We built the damn city. We're Sterling Enterprises. People want luxury, they want status, they want Sterling. But the world had moved on. Her relentless focus on aggressive expansion, cutting corners for profit, and her increasingly erratic public behavior had alienated clients and talent alike. After Ethan left, a slow but steady exodus of promising architects had followed, frustrated by her authoritarian style and the stifling atmosphere. Sterling Enterprises, once a beacon of innovation, was now seen as a relic, a company whose foundation of excellence had begun to rot from the inside. The media, always hungry for a fall from grace, had a field day. Headlines screamed, "Sterling stumbles. Is the empire crumbling and from powerhouse to pariah?" Serena Sterling's costly regrets. Her once pristine public image was now riddled with cracks, exposing the cold, ruthless businesswoman beneath. Social events, once her playground, became a gauntlet of pitying glances and whispered criticisms. The elite circle she once commanded now openly lauded Vance Sharma for their visionary projects and Ethan's inspiring rags-to-riches story. Ethan and Anya, oblivious to the specifics of Serena's latest professional woes, but certainly aware of Sterling's decline, were on the world stage. The international press conference announcing the Harmony Tower project was a spectacle. As Ethan spoke, his voice clear and confident, describing the fusion of design and life, Anya beside him detailing the intricate biological systems, they radiated a quiet power. Their partnership was undeniable, their synergy palpable. Mr. Alastair Chin, now a proud consultant for their firm and their steadfast mentor, watched from the front row, a triumphant smile on his face. Later that evening, after the last flashbulb had popped and the last interview question had been answered, Ethan and Anya found themselves on the rooftop garden of their Tokyo hotel, overlooking the city that had just embraced their vision. "Remember that little apartment we started in?" Ethan mused, leaning against the railing, the night breeze cool on his face. "The one with the leaky faucet and the ramen diet?" Anya chuckled, snuggling into his side. "And the endless blueprints spread across the living room floor. Who knew that a broken mug and a ridiculous slap would lead us here?" Her voice softened. "You've truly found your voice, my love. You're not just an architect. You're an innovator, a leader, a force of nature." He wrapped an arm around her, kissing the top of her head. "Only because you showed me the path, Anya. You saw me when I was invisible, believed in me when I doubted myself. You are my bedrock." Across the globe, in her penthouse apartment overlooking a desolate cityscape, Serena Sterling sat alone, a half-empty bottle of vintage wine on the polished coffee table. Her laptop screen glowed, displaying a news article, "Vance Sharma Unveil Harmony Tower, a New Era of Architectural Brilliance." Below it, a large, vibrant photo showed Ethan, radiant and confident, his arm casually around Anya, both of them beaming, utterly at peace. She zoomed in on Ethan's face. The meek, uncertain man she had so casually dismissed, whose talent she had taken for granted, whose spirit she had tried to crush, was gone. In his place was a man of substance, an icon. He looked happy, genuinely, effortlessly happy, and successful, beyond anything she had ever achieved or perhaps even truly understood. Her fingers trembled as she scrolled further, past the accolades for Vance Sharma, past the praise for their groundbreaking work, to the comments section. They were brutal, yet uncannily insightful. Ethan Vance truly broke free. Sterling just tried to chain him. Serena Sterling's karma hitting hard. You reap what you sow. Amazing what a man can achieve when he finds a woman who actually respects him. A tear, hot and stinging, traced a path down her cheek. It wasn't just about losing him, or even about her company's freefall. It was the realization of why. She had destroyed something precious, not just his confidence, but her own moral compass. She had been so consumed by pride, by control, by the need to dominate, that she had driven away the one person who truly added value, not just to her company, but to her life. The mug, the ex-fiancé, the slap. It all replayed in her mind, a scene of grotesque cruelty. She had traded a man's respect, a genuine connection, for a momentary assertion of power. And now she had nothing. Her empire was crumbling, her reputation in tatters, and her heart, for the first time in years, felt an aching, hollow regret so profound it threatened to swallow her whole. Ethan had not just left her. He had left her entire world crumbling around her, not with a bang, but with the quiet, devastating efficiency of a man building a better one. Serena closed her laptop, the screen reflecting her face, gaunt, haunted, stripped of its former imperiousness. The reflection showed a woman who had once stood at the pinnacle of power, now utterly alone, staring into the abyss of her own making. The irony was a bitter draught. She had wanted Ethan to recognize her power. Now she was forced to recognize his. And the cost of that recognition was everything. The next morning, news outlets would report that Sterling Enterprises was filing for bankruptcy. But for Serena, the real bankruptcy had occurred months ago, the moment she broke a man's spirit over a forgotten mug. The sound of her own sob was the only thing echoing in the vast, empty penthouse. What would become of her now, a fallen titan in a world she no longer recognized?